It's Friday, y'all, and we're right here. We got a lot of discussing to do. We had some hiccups, real bad hiccups on Wednesday, so we're gonna recap our week for y'all.
Hey.
Yes. So the first thing we want to talk about is the Black Lives Matter cousin
Mm-hmm.
getting killed by the police.
Yep.
What in the heck? And then they want to say he was high on drugs. What does that have to do with you tasing this man to death?
Right. Well,
You didn't know what he was high on before you tased him, so we're not
yeah.
going to go there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He called them because they had been in an accident, like a traffic stop, right?
Mhm,
So he made the phone call.
mhm.
And for some reason, hey, Mela, and for some reason,
Mhm.
they felt like they needed to handcuff him. So I'm watching the video and I'm seeing on the video that they tell him to calm down, stop resisting, stop resisting. He was saying, I'm not resisting. So I'm like, why did the man pull the taser out? He didn't have a weapon.
Right.
It's two officers, a black man and a white man. The white man is the one that had the taser. The black man is the one who was putting his arm, it looked like his knee, his elbow, everything on his neck
Oh my God.
and chest press. And he kept saying, they're trying to George Floyd me. They're trying to George Floyd me. So
Mhm.
I couldn't keep on watching it.
Yes.
I did watch some of it. And from what I saw, it did not look good. It didn't look good. And it seems like he started hallucinating and he got scared for
Mm.
some reason that wasn't shown on the video. So some things happened before the recording that was released. Some things happened ahead of time because he didn't have any weapons. So they didn't find out that he had any drugs in the system until after.
The autopsy, right?
Yeah, I
So
don't
that's
understand.
that's them trying to make an excuse, saying
Hmm.
his death was induced due to drugs.
Right, right, right.
That's
Yeah, they're
their
trying to cover
excuse.
his cover themselves
Mhm.
because they wasn't able to with George Floyd. So they want to make sure that they're saying the right thing now. But
Right.
it's an investigation out now, right?
Oh, okay. I'm glad they're
Yeah,
gonna look into it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Because going to trial on things like this is very it hurts. You know what I'm saying? You're going through a lot of emotion, especially the family. You know what I'm saying? Especially family knowing, and then he's saying, "No, they trying to George Floyd me," and then that's what happens. I mean, come on now, police. When are y'all gonna stop doing this? Put your knee in somebody's back or neck or hold them, pinning them down like that. Stop it.
yeah. I didn't understand the threat. When you're approached by a police officer, you're already on defense, right?
Mhm,
You're
mhm.
already terrified, scared that you're gonna either die
Mhm,
or get beat up. That's your immediate thought when the police are involved, right? When
mhm.
you get pulled over, you're shaking, you're scared, you like, hey, let me have my license and registration, like right
Right,
here. You
right.
damn near want to put it on the dashboard,
Okay,
right?
for him.
Hey,
Exactly.
Jeff. You want to put it on the dashboard because you're scared that anything can go wrong movement. I don't understand why they're so fragile when they approach everybody. This isn't just black people, this white people too. They're scared, terrified when they approach. So
Mhm, mhm.
what
So,
happened?
I mean, when is it that you want to say things are? It's called police brutality because it's kind of a fine line. You know what I'm saying? When we say they brutalizing people and they're not. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right,
restraints are legal from their training,
right, right.
and because some of the body things they put you in, the constraints. I didn't know
Hmm.
it was legal on their end. You know what I mean? I'm like, they're
Okay.
not supposed to do that, but that was part of their training.
Hmm.
So it's kind of important for us to learn what's a lot of their training techniques,
Hmm.
so we can tell them, okay, you some things you're not doing right. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's
I
sad.
think I think that ultimately when police are going through training, right? just from a civilian side, right? When they go through training, we look at it as every single time they show up is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you call them, in this case, the guy called the police to come for a traffic incident. Whatever happened prior to him even being thrown down and him resisting, something happened in between that time for him to resist. Also, a lot of the times when police approach now, we're ultimately on defense too. Because
Right.
we're saying we're prepared to pull out a camera.
Right.
We're prepared to call, be loud to bring the witnesses, you know? So I think everybody is ultimately on defense, and that needs to be addressed as well. That the police have to approach on a de-escalation, even when a person is being hostile,
right,
for their safety, right? For to cover themselves. The approach should be taught to them as de-escalation immediately, because you're here to protect and serve. Like, a lot of times the police are forgetting that. They're not even looking at it, and a lot of times that's why I think training needs to be extended, because you have to dig a little deeper to the person. Why do you want to be a police officer? Right? What is it about it? What is it about other cultures that you may like or dislike? Because every police officer isn't walking in there, oh yeah, I like all races, and yeah, I don't have a problem with color, then you're looking at them like, what? You have some prejudices in you, black, white, whatever color, culture. You have some discrimination things that are within that you just were raised, the way you're raised, right? Or whatever you may have saw or whatever. So a lot of times people, when you go in the work environment and in their situation, they're coming in to protect and serve the community. Their job is really big.
Right.
And they're not taking it as serious as they should, and they're doing it for more than the community. I feel a lot of the police officers are, and it makes the ones that are for the community and are there to protect and serve. It makes it bad for them.
It does.
Yeah, so I don't know. This story has to unfold a little bit more before we can really speak any facts, because it's just 24 hours, right?
Right, it's just 24 hours, yes.
Yeah. So the other story that we were going to talk about was Kenya. The designer that he was found on the side of the road. He was a fashion designer of the LGBTQ community. And I didn't know, I wasn't aware that in Kenya it's illegal. You can get 14 years in prison for being a homosexual.
Yes, and it's a lot of countries like that. Yeah, it's like that. It's shunned upon, and they feel it should not be in their countries. So maybe him being in the LGBTQ group and family, and representing them, they didn't like that. A lot of people didn't like it. So a lot of people hide their identity over there.
And what was sad? Well, he wasn't. He was out with it. He wasn't embarrassed by it. He was boisterous about it, right? And he his from what is stated is that his roommate was arrested along with 4 other people. So it was a total of 5 people that killed him, threw his body on the side of the road, right?
Oh, wow.
And he was a decomposed body. And he was an LGBTQ activist. Yes, Mayla, he was an activist, right? And a fashion designer. Yeah, he was an activist and fashion designer. And when they found his body, that's when they started taking the steps back. So one thing that is good about it, even though it's shunned over there, and even though they're against it, I applaud them for taking the opportunity to arrest the people
and to even
that
talk
was
about
that was responsible for
it.
his death, because his body had to decompose.
So he had to been out there for a while.
Yeah, because he was out there for 42 consecutive days.
Oh, well, you know, in like some parts, like in Nigeria, when
Uh-huh.
somebody dies in the street or whatever, the bodies sit there, you know, until a family member knows it's them and
Claims or reports.
body. You have to come get their body. You have to claim.
No, I'm saying they have to claim or report the body, right? Isn't that how they do? They have to even report that they're missing, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even reported that he was missing because of his roommate was involved in his murder.
Exactly.
Wow, that's really, really sad. And he was a nice looking man too.
Yeah.
His name was Edwin Chabola.
Okay. Wow.
Rest in peace to him and his family. Like he was really, you know, an activist in the LGBTQ community. So he was trying to get their rights, you know, over there. So he wasn't looking at any you know, no time or anything, because he was out with it, right? He was in a close relationship with the roommate, is from what they're saying. So the roommate probably didn't want to be out with it, but he was out with it.
Right. Wow. Okay. So now we get into the fact more and more Black men are committing suicide.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so sad. I know here in my area, maybe a month or two ago, a young man, they found him dead, like probably two blocks away from my house.
Okay.
Found him dead, and they found the gun on the side of him. They concluded that he killed himself, right?
Okay.
So another young man, both 19 and 20, another young man, years old, he was found the same way, but on another end of side of town.
What color were they?
Black, Sudanese, and Somali.
Okay.
Sudanese.
Okay.
And I mean, I just don't understand why these young men opting to kill themselves instead of talking to somebody. I know they've been going through some like legal things, stuff going on with their families. One of them brothers OD'd some years ago, and it's just a lot of stuff probably going on in their family as well, but we don't know. But I wish they would have reached out to somebody else and talk it over, a pastor or somebody in the community, or activist somewhere here in this community, and tell them what their problems are. Maybe we can try and work it out. You know what I'm saying? And it's so sad because, you know, the young man was found Monday and just shot himself in the head.
What, was he outside? Was he at his house? Where?
Outside. Both cases were outside.
Damn.
Apartment building.
And then a gunshot. Both of them shot themselves in the head?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I'm gonna say for suicide. I don't know if I've ever had suicide thoughts. I don't know. I don't think so. Not that I can remember. I'm not gonna say never, because everybody's been down on their luck and like, oh man, I wish this or that. But at this stage in life, hell no, and hell no, and hell no.
But you know what? Okay, but we are such in the last 3 years, so much has been going on. A lot of the younger, if your mind is not you wise, you don't have that knowledge, you can't take the stuff that we've been through in our lives and we're like, okay, everything else is just gonna be easy breezy, you know what I'm saying? But now these kids and teenagers and 20 and 30-year-olds, they can't take pressure. They pressure pop, you know what I'm saying? They can't take a lot of pressure that we've taken as kids, in their age, you know what I'm saying? And I think it has a lot to probably do with how you was raised. We got our ass whooped. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? No ifs, ands, and buts. We did something wrong. We got reprimanded right then and there. No
Right.
matter where you was at,
Right.
be on the streets, Kmart, Woolworth,
Right.
Walgreens, your parents are gonna whoop you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Mhm.
dare anybody say something. But now it's like you whoop your kid, you're going to jail. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm like, I couldn't even really spank my kids like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
you gonna go to jail if you hit me. That's the first thing they say.
Right.
I got rights. No, you don't. You're not living under this roof. But
Right.
it's like, yeah, it's shocking to see that,
Yes, we
you
got
know,
snatched up very quick, like pinch,
okay,
pop, push,
man,
everything. There's
ears
no
pulled, baby. In church too. Ears pulled
in church.
open.
In church, definitely in church. Oh, girl, you better not.
Uh,
You better not even think about it in church. You're gonna get embarrassed in front of everybody else
yeah,
in church.
girl, you better not.
You outside in front of your friends,
Mm-mm.
and your mama be like, and if your friends laugh, they ain't your friend.
Right. Okay. Look, don't roll your eyes.
Embarrassing and might hit them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because my mom didn't care about my friends' parents scolding me
Right. Mine too.
because there wasn't nobody that was considered an abuser or
Right. Yeah.
yes, pinch in church, always pinched in church, always. Yes. Or like that pinch, Mela, where it's like a fingernail dig, like yes, yes, exactly. Yep. Or hit you with that strap
Oh
on that purse.
yes. Ooh. No, the coach. Let's see. The gym coach used to have them paddles with the holes in it.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
paddle.
Yeah.
Hey, spread eagle.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Definitely.
Kids can't
The
take
guy,
it.
the dude that was that killed himself was a former NFL player, right?
Oh, no,
A receiver, Charles Johnson.
who he
He
played
killed
for?
himself. He killed himself. He was 50 years old now. He
Oh,
wasn't even young.
right.
He was not even young and
Oh, wow.
he killed himself, you know? And he's 50 years old. He killed himself in the hotel room in July.
And
But
July,
it's sparking, yeah, but it's they brought it up in on January 12th, 2013.
right.
And he paid for North Carolina. And now they ruled the death as a suicide. At
Okay.
first they didn't know what was wrong, but on
Mhm.
January 12th they ruled it as a
Suicide.
drug overdose. He
Oh,
overdosed himself with a lot of drugs,
wow.
oxycodone, high codeine, and martaz- marzettavine. That's
Mm.
what his toxology report found in his system, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And he had not taken any active prescriptive drugs, so all those drugs was illegal.
Mhm. Mm.
They didn't know why he died before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he purchased he purchased a funeral and cremation service before he died. So he wanted to do
Oh, he
this. Yeah.
already he
Yeah.
planned his death.
Yeah.
He planned his
He
funeral.
planned his funeral. Yeah. Yep. He
Wow.
paid for it. He planned his death and paid for his funeral.
That
So
is,
something was going on. Nobody understood why.
was he married or
He was
something?
considered permanently disabled. He had a injury after his injury, and he was permanently disabled for 9 years. So
Mm.
he just was tired of being taken care of.
Mm.
Yeah. He left
Oh,
behind a wife, son, and a daughter. Yep.
wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So he left them unbothered, right?
Mhm.
He wanted to get rid of being a problem. And
Right.
so he paid for all of that stuff so they wouldn't have to worry about it. So there
Right.
wouldn't be no harm on them, but on them, right? Being
Right.
left to the family. But the sad part about it is you left.
You
That's the
left
point.
them. Right. You left them.
That was the point, and people don't really pay that any attention that the selfishness of committing suicide, of what you leave mentally. You mess the family up mentally by doing that because they
Yeah.
gotta go around and explain. I don't know what was wrong with him. I don't know why he did it or she did it, or
Mhm,
people
mhm.
that people are really selfish when they do that. That you have left the burden on the family members to the embarrassment to explain,
Mhm.
because you would think like, dang, well, what are you embarrassed about? It ain't you. Yeah, but it's your family member that you love, and they commit suicide.
Yeah,
Like, what was so bad that they didn't want to be here?
right,
Right?
right. Well, maybe that was bad enough for him, not wanting to be wiped up, taken care of in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, God bless him and his family, and rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But y'all, thank you for tuning in. This was
Yes.
tonight, our Friday edition. We gave y'all 20 minutes because Wednesday we sound like robots.
Bro, Well,
Right.
that's what happens when you have like that's the fun thing about podcasting and doing the things we do, because you never know what's gonna come up, baby. You
Right.
never
Yeah,
know.
because we wasn't
But
expecting that.
man, not at all. Not at
Okay.
all. So
So see y'all Wednesday.
thank you.